Hey guys, this is Mark here from pixelfiendtech.com, and today we are going to be bringing you an overview of the recent Apple event. Now I know this did happen a while ago and a lot of people made videos back then, but I was actually away at the time so I could not make a video for you guys. But I thought since it was such a big announcement from Apple and I thought you guys would still be interested, so I've still decided to make the video for you. So we have a bit of a change of scene here. I am just over at the Apple website so I can actually show you some of the stuff. So I am actually just going to go over the event in the order that Apple did it, and as expected they did save the biggest announcements for last, so I will just cover the first things they announced briefly and then cover the big announcements at the end of the video, so please stay tuned to see that. Okay, so first of all we kind of had an update on their desktop, laptop operating systems. So Mavericks was announced for free, which was a big surprise from Apple, and I apologize for my screen flickering there. So that is pretty impressive. I think that was a shock to a lot of people that Apple decided to release their software for free. They also updated things like GarageBand, iWorks, things like that. So that is of course cool, and a lot of these will come free with a purchase of a new Apple computer. They then told us a bit more about the new MacBook Pro Retina line, which was very interesting, and moved on to the star of the show over here, the Mac Pro. So they announced that there are going to be many different configurations, and they have announced the price for the quad core and the 6-core, both with dual GPUs. So you can see here the price in Britain is currently sitting at £2,499, and the 6-core is £3,299. Now this is expected to be a lot higher for things like the 12-core, and I really would not want to be seeing the prices on those, because I would expect they will be unbelievably high. So next up, I'm just going to skip straight on to the iPads. So there were two new updates, and to be honest we did expect them. Now the thing that we didn't really expect was the naming change. So the iPad, as you may have seen there, is now called the iPad Air, and one of the weirdest decisions that Apple made was actually, well, you would expect that they would keep possibly the last model or the last two models which have lightning connectors and that brilliant screen, but instead they decided to ditch all those iPads and keep the iPad 2. So now Apple in the full-size iPad range only make the iPad 2 and this new iPad Air. Now essentially the iPad Air is just the iPad 5, but since it is the first iPad with a kind of major design change that you can see here, they decided to give it a new name. So this will certainly be very powerful. It has very similar specs to the iPhone 5S, though it does not have that Touch ID fingerprint scanner. You can see here it has a very similar design to the iPad mini. In fact, they are almost identical apart from the sizing. Now that brings us on to the iPad mini. So this was a change I really wanted to see. So it's not actually called the iPad mini 2, it is just called the iPad mini with Retina display. This, as you can see here, is coming later this November, and it comes in two colors, space grey and silver. So on the outside this looks very similar. Again, no Touch ID, same body, though there are different colors. Though the iPad mini, the original one, does now come in space grey, which is an interesting choice. So you may have, I would assume, guessed from the name iPad mini Retina display that the screen is much better on this, and it is actually more pixel dense than the iPad Air. They have the same screen resolutions, but of course the iPad mini has a smaller screen, so the pixels will be more dense, though to be honest I wouldn't get your hopes up at it having a better screen, because at that many pixels you really will not notice a difference between the amount of pixels added. Though this will certainly be a remarkable change compared to the original iPad mini screen. Another thing I'm extremely happy about seeing is the internals. So we are now totally kind of up to date with the iPad mini retina display. So generally, well, with the iPad mini, when it was announced, it had a kind of below par screen and a older CPU inside. With this new iPad mini, we now have the newest processor from Apple and pretty much the same internals as the iPad Air and iPad mini. The things like battery life will probably vary. Now, this is brilliant for me. I would love to see this fast iPad mini. Personally, iPad mini just seems to be that perfect form factor for me, and the fact that it will have that brilliant screen and that those processors to be able to handle complicated tasks. I believe it also has the M7 processor for motion tracking and better Wi-Fi antennas, which, unless you're willing to pay for the cellular version, you will need that Wi-Fi to connect to the internet. I really hope that you are excited with these announcements from Apple. If you are, why not give this video a like, a share, and also subscribe to my channel for more content, as I will surely be updating you if there are any new announcements from Apple. If you have any questions or just want to leave your comment about this video, just put that down in the comment section or email me at the address in the description. Thank you very much for watching. See you.